let's say you want to change the Blender font. So we have our text selected. We're going to go over here to the right and we can see we have a green A icon. This is very special just for the Blender text. We're going to click on that. And then inside of here, there's a bunch of cool stuff we can do. One of the things is we can actually change the font. So if we expand the font here, we can select what type of font we have. So let's go ahead and expand this guy. So B font, that stands for Blender font. It's there by default. Now, if we click the folder icon, depending if you're Windows, you'll automatically go to the font folder on your computer. So Mac doesn't have that. Mac doesn't have the fonts available for us to use. So in that case, we have to download our own fonts. But again, if you were Windows, if you click on the folder icon, instead of seeing this, you would see a actual font directory and a bunch of different fonts you can do. So let's say we want to download a font. So where would be a good place to download a font? Well, let's go here. And this is a great website that I found. It's 1001fonts.com. And there's tons of different fonts we can pick from. So in this case, I searched for Disney. We have a Waltograph. Let's just go ahead and download this one. Hit allow. Okay. We can search for, let's do horror. We have some like really scary, gory, or bloody text that we can use. So there's a bunch of different fonts. So once you're happy with the one you want, like this one's a pretty good one. I'm gonna go ahead and download this one. So I went ahead and download them. The next thing that we gotta do is we got to expand them because it comes in as a zip. So I'm gonna go this, show in Finder. Here it is right here. So I'm going to expand this guy. Just by double clicking it in Mac, we'll expand it. If you're Windows, you're going to have to right click and you should have an expand. But once I have it expand, there's a bunch of stuff inside of here. Let's go ahead and do that for the Waltograph as well. So let's expand it or uncompress it. So we have a bunch of different options here. So with those expanded, let's go back to Blender. Let's go to downloads. Here we have the horror and then we have the Waltograph. So let's do the horror. We can see this is our font. It's a .ttf file. Let's do open font. And look at that. So now we have a font that looks bloody, like it looks like blood. Now let's go ahead and change it. Click on the folder icon. Let's click the back arrow. Oops, sorry. That's the previous folder. But to go to the parent, it's the up arrow. Let's do Waltograph. There's a few different ones you can do. There's the bold one. Let's do regular. And that's what it looks like with the Waltograph. Now let's go back here. Let's change it back to the horror one. Okay. Let's now go into materials, to a new material. And let's just give this a little reddish look. Let's do base color, red. That looks pretty good. Let's go into, here we go. And let's change the background to be 0. And that looks cool. So let's just zoom in. So Shift B, box zoom. And there we go. Now we have a custom font instead of the Blender font. We can give it a little red texture. So that way now it looks like blood.